We might as well do it all up perfect and proper.
It's recording.
Great, thank you. We really always want to start our year off with a bang, right? No one wants to fizzle into the next year of their life. So we're going to quickly talk about and get something straight right out of the gate, because this is not just another January. This is not same goals, new calendar. This is not, I'll try harder this year. This is actually a clean slate, a real blank canvas, a once only shot to architect a year that doesn't politely improve your life, but redefines it. And you're the one who gets to say. So if you want 2026 to hit different, you don't ease into it, you detonate into it. So let's talk about how to start the year with what I call a bang instead of the usual January whimper. I'm not a big fan of those. First step, there's 3 things. If you do these things, your year's going to start off great. The first step is you've actually completed last year. Because here's the most uncomfortable truth that most people avoid. If you're dragging 2025 into 2026, any disappointments or half-finished goals or any emotional baggage or yeah but stories, you're not starting fresh. You're hauling dead weight already. You don't need to start already hauling stuff. Trust me, by the end of the year, you'll have enough to haul. Spectacular years don't begin with motivation. They begin with completion. And completion doesn't mean pretending last year was amazing. It means owning what worked, being in communication about what didn't work, harvesting the lessons, and letting go of any of the emotional residue that might still be there. There's no replaying the failures over and over again. You people know who you are on the screen right now. Those of you who keep going over the same crappy things that happened over and over again. It's going to keep existing for you if you keep talking about it, just saying. So get it complete so that you're not dragging the corpse of last year into the new one. But it still has potential. Well, get it complete of wherever it's at right now. Chapter's done. I learned this. I didn't learn that. I'm not reacting anymore. I'm creating now. Most people don't fail because they aim too low. They fail because they start the year reacting to the past instead of designing the future. So if you want to bang, start clean. Now, I just had this conversation with Aralia the other day, so I'm going to quickly review it with you guys of what it takes to get something complete. But here's the fastest way to do it. You make a list of the things that worked. You make a list of the things that didn't work. We have 4 different category areas that we look at in 80-20 planning. So we look at your business, career, your finance, whatever you do to bring in money, your relationships, both with yourself and with others, and DNA, intimate ones, right? Then we look at your health and well-being, and then we look at your home and personal environments and all the other crap that goes there. So you're going to look what worked and what didn't work. Then look at what didn't work. Out of what didn't work, what's the first thing? What do I need to say about that? What do I need to say about that one piece of unworkability? What do I need to hear about that? What can I be responsible for? Most women aren't responsible for how much they tolerate. We tolerate a whole bunch of stuff, and then we wait until the freaking kettle blows. And, those poor little guys have no idea what's going on. We just blow finally, right? Or some stupid little thing, right? Because we're not getting stuff complete as we go. So what can you be responsible for? Right? And say it right out loud to yourself. I'm 100% responsible for the fact that I tolerated X, or I stepped over Y, or I coulda, woulda, shoulda done this. Right? Just be responsible for it. And then what did you learn? Because if you don't say what you learned, the universe is going to be so sweet. It's going to give you the exact same lesson again tomorrow. Right? It might have a different face on it, but the lesson is going to be exactly the same. And it's not going to be friendly, and it's not going to be nice. And you can then declare that thing complete. If you have to, have someone recreate what you need to hear for you. But declare the thing complete so that you're not taking that with you into your planning. Completion, step 1. Step 2, you got to get an outrageous plan that's actually built to win. So let's be blunt. As if I'm ever anything else. No offense.
It's not blunt, Shawn. It's just honesty.
In the spirit of the new year, if your 2026 plan looks like grow revenue, get more clients, be more consistent, work on mindset, that's not a plan. That's a vision board with chores. So spectacular years require outrageous plans, but not reckless ones. Here's the difference. Wish lists feel good. Winning plans are engineered. So winning plans do three things. They're bold. Think 10x thinking, not 10% improvements. They're specific, right? They have really big numbers and timelines and ownership, and they're reverse engineered. And they include big games and small games. The big game stretches you, and the small games build momentum. So if you can't point to your quarter one outcomes, your January targets, your weekly non-negotiables, then January will quietly eat you alive while you're getting ready. It'll be like the Pac-Man. That'll be it. Momentum doesn't come from motivation. It comes from clarity and execution. And here's the kicker. If January is already a done deal on paper, you've removed 80% of the friction. Because only 5% of all human beings actually get it out of their head and write it on paper. And that's how you turn ambition into inevitability. Like it's inevitable that that's going to happen. Number 3, you're not doing any of this alone. Now, this one matters more than people want to admit. Top performers don't just set goals. They build accountability ecosystems. Isolation is where goals go to die. So if you're trying to hold yourself accountable, coach yourself, motivate yourself, reality check yourself, you're playing the game on what we call hard mode for no reason. High performers build or join tribes. They create people who are moving, people who will call nonsense, people who expect action, not excuses. Weekly check-ins, shared milestones, public commitments. Not because they're needy, but because they're actually serious. Accountability isn't pressure, it's rocket fuel. And if your circle doesn't make you slightly uncomfortable, you're probably the biggest fish in a very small pond. So what if you don't have all this yet? The good news is you don't have to figure out any of this alone. That's exactly why they have WRN office hours. So as a free member, every Wednesday and Thursday, you can just pop in. And the resident business coach is going to be live there helping people. We can help you complete the past. We can help you clarify the plan. We can help you recommit with structure. There doesn't have to be any hype or pressure or cost. We're out to have our membership win. And we do that at the free level. We do that at the paid level. We do that at every level. Just real conversations and real strategy. That's what WRN is about, is giving you the strategies you need to have constant lead flow. That's what we're committed to. So if you're stuck or uncertain or half committed, this is how you reset before January slips away. The year isn't going to shape itself. If you don't decide what this year stands for, life will decide for you, and it's usually pretty lazy about it. Right? It's not going to get up and go you. So complete last year, build a plan that can't hide, and surround yourself with people who expect movement. Start smart, start supported, start with clarity. Don't whisper your way into 2026. Make it with a bang. And before I forget to say anything else about that, consistency beats creativity any day of the week. So the fact is that if you create something that you're able to do consistently, then you're going to have better results than if you create really creative stuff, but only do it every 6 weeks. People may not remember what you put out 3 months ago, but they will remember if you put something out. Now, if you're not yet a member of WRN, no problem. You can join for free. Just click that button at the top of the screen. We will put a recording of what I just went through. I went through it pretty fast. That's just me. But we'll put a recording of this onto our Wise Women space on WRN. So you can request entrance onto the Wise Women space. Just search for Wise Women at the top. You can then come back to any of our office hours. You can apply for those. You can say, yes, I'd like those, please. And reminders will get sent to you. And you can find those office hours on our WRN social as well. There's a whole section on events there with lots of really great events that show up every time. So before I go on and before we stop the recording, let's just answer any yeah buts or questions you might have about those 3 steps that I just went through with you in order to have you start your year with a bang. Does anybody have any yeah buts, what abouts, I think you're crazy, Shawn moments?
You said something about completing the year. Could you explain what that means?
Sure. So completing the year is going through all those questions that I just went through and making sure that there's nothing left incomplete for you about last year, about what you did do or what you didn't do. Right? Because you did what you did and you didn't do what you didn't do. But you don't have to carry any emotional baggage about any of that with you into 2026. You can get it all complete. And it's way easier to get yourself complete if you start the completion process right now. My clients all know to get themselves complete before they even go to bed at night. Get yourself complete from the day. Don't even go to sleep without being complete. All right. Any other questions? Yeah, buts, what abouts? Does that cover that for you, Susie? Is that okay?
Shawn, I do have a question. Like the situation I discussed with you earlier, if I do not want to talk to this individual, somebody else can be his proxy.
You don't ever have to talk to somebody, though. You can get them complete by doing that exercise.
Yeah, but I mean,
we complete with people who have died, Aurelia. So if we can complete with someone who's died, we can complete with someone who we wish was dead. I'm just saying, right? To be honest about it. You see, a guy wouldn't get that joke. Women get it right away, but a guy would just not get that joke and be like, what's funny about that?
Yeah.
But as women, we've all met people that we just weren't there anymore. I just wish that person was not here anymore.
But what I'm saying is that somebody else can pretend to be that person while you get complete. They can be their proxy.
100%. Yeah. I once did a course where there was this young girl. She was like, I think she was 20, right? Something like that. Anyway, she was really, really incomplete from her past and her dad had died. So I had her sit there and write a letter to her dad. It was pages and pages long. She just got everything else she could possibly get out. After she brought it to me, I said, is there anything more there? Write that down. And then I had her pick the person on the team whose way of being most reminded her of her dad. And she didn't pick who I thought she'd pick. She actually picked a rather young guy, but he was quite built. And I guess all the other guys that were on our team were slimmer. And his way of being just reminded her of her, teddy bear papa type guy, right? So I had her read this letter to him over and over and over and over again until there was no longer any emotional juice attached to it for her.
Oh, wow.
And it took her about 2.5 hours.
Wow.
Just over and over and over again. But she got complete. She didn't have to carry that into her future anymore, and she got complete with her dad and he wasn't even there. It was great. But the point is that completion frees you, not them. Just like forgiveness frees you, not them. I don't always forgive. There are things I can take to forget, but I can't always forgive.
Yeah.
Even if I forget why I don't forgive them, it's there. But we all got to have our boundaries, right? There's just things that we won't step over, right? Mm-hmm. Like I could never step over a child being injured or hurt or something in front of me.
Right.
I can't tell you how many times I've gotten my butt into trouble and made one of my husbands or men that is in my life protect me and stand up for me because I've stepped in to a situation where somebody weaker was being exploited in some way. Mm-hmm. It's just automatically there for me. I'll just step in, even if it means something bad for myself. But since I'm disabled, people like leave me alone for the most part, especially if I'm already in one of those little motorized carts. Oh, and I've got something I can poke them with as I go past. Like, listen, asshole, you don't get to do that. No surprise that I'm not like some mellow little flower in the wheelchair, no. It's like, try me, see how that goes for you. I was telling these guys, but I'll tell some of the people because some of the people haven't heard this story. But when I traveled back when COVID hit, I traveled from Montreal to Vancouver. And I'm always in a wheelchair on the planes because I can't walk very far. And as we're coming off, this packed waiting room waiting to get on. Because when you're in a wheelchair, you're the first on the plane and the last off the plane. And this guy says, just as we're going past him, there's me and another lady. Now, the other lady is about as big as me. And I'm big, you guys. You can't see it all, but I'm big. But she just had her knee surgery, so she couldn't even put weight on her leg, right? So as we're going past these people, this guy says in a really loud voice, so everybody in the waiting room hears, being fat is not a disability. At which point I leaned down and I patted my tummy and I said, that's okay, baby. Some people are just mean, right? Like just like that. And then he went red and then he went white and then he went red again, right? Everybody started giving him dirty looks. They were all like giving him pouty faces. So then we finally get to the elevator and the guy pushing my wheelchair says to me, are you pregnant? And I said, no, but he was an asshole. He deserved that. He'll think twice about saying shit like that in public.
Yeah, hopefully.
The lady behind me was like, I never know what to say when people say shit like that. So, well, now you do. Give it right back at him. It's quite okay. You can end the recording, Susie. Thank you. We're going to put that up on Wise Women for you guys.